What's up, noble knights? King Marty has returned, so put your swords in and take a seat at the round table. So, today I want to talk about sticking to the game plan, guys. What is the longest you have ever played a particular deck? Not the same deck, but different variants of the same archetype. I know for me, it's gotta be Blue Eyes. I feel like I always have Blue Eyes on hand. I have played every variant possible for an honestly embarrassing number of games because that's just the deck that I like. I like to play Blue Eyes because the strategy itself stays consistent. It's a legacy deck and a dragon deck, which means it gets new support pretty often, and it's a good way for me to jump into a new format and feel it out. We all have that deck, right? So tell me in the comments down below, what's the deck that keeps you coming back? But that is not actually today's topic. I want to talk about the other side of that spectrum. What is the deck that you put money into, that you built it from the ground up, full power, and you played with it and you let it go too quick? Why did you give it up? Did it just have a bad meta matchup? Was it not consistent enough? Did you not like the play style? What was it? But the most important question I have about that deck, did you learn it? I'm not just talking about the basics here, guys. I'm talking about really learning a deck. The ins and outs, every avenue of play, how to play the best hands, how to play the brick hands. Because let's not lie to ourselves. If you're anything like me, you spend way too much money on Yu-Gi-Oh! So why would you punish yourself by building a deck and then not putting the full time and effort into that deck before giving it up? Now I know that it's discouraging sometimes to pick up a deck that isn't the greatest and get stomped out by the meta over and over and over after you just paid $500+ to build it, right? But nobody I know anyway, can just pick up a deck and instantly be perfect with it. Whether we like it or not, we all play to win. But you can still take small W's even when you lose. Learn from your losses, guys. Don't just give up because you get a little discouraged about playing this deck. If you've been part of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene for a while, chances are you've heard the name Steven Trifanowski. Triff Gaming, the pen god, right? This guy's whole gig is stick to the game plan. Nobody had ever heard the name Steven Trifanowski, like 3 years ago? Guy wins one ARG event, and suddenly he's one of the biggest names in Yu-Gi-Oh! Triff knows he has played that deck for 3 straight years, at least, and he does not give it up. When a new format comes along, he tests with it. He figures it out until he can manage to play it in that format. When the format isn't made for his deck, he makes his deck for the format so that he can compete. He does not give it up. Probably one of the best examples, Yugi Moto himself, guys. Yugi played the same weird kind of trash deck for 4 seasons against a huge variety of different opponents, and he never changed it. Yeah, a few cards here and there that he got from winning particular duels or cards that he got as gifts, but the overall strategy, he kept the same. I think I've mentioned before how long I played Trickstars well past their prime because it's just a deck that I enjoyed. I wanted it to come back. I wanted to make it work. It didn't, but I'll be damned if I didn't try. Now, I'm not saying that part of the game isn't also knowing when to hang up the keys and move on to the next, but don't get discouraged right away because you have a few bad matchups. Maybe try changing out some of the 3-ofs. Maybe try putting in some different interruptions. Change out your side deck constantly until you find something that you really like. Losing will always be part of the game, but giving up doesn't have to be. Learning different decks is one of the best parts about Yu-Gi-Oh! For me. Rogue decks, competitive decks, even Table 500 decks. Pick up everything you get the opportunity to until you've mastered the deck, because even if that deck isn't the greatest, it can help you in the future when that deck might come up. For that reason too, keep all your deck cores. You might have a bad deck this format, and 3 formats from now when we get a couple new ban lists, now you've got something that's a really competitive strategy that if you get rid of it, then you got to go through and buy the whole thing again, and you're just going to be pissed off about that. I think for me, one of the best ways I find to learn a new deck inside and out is try to teach that deck to someone else. Oftentimes, you might look over something that they might see, or when you're looking over the strategy to try to help them, you might catch something that you just looked over before. All duelists, learn lots, don't get discouraged. Play some freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Noble Knights, thanks so much for joining me today for a little discussion. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and may Obelisk, Slifer, and Ra bless all of your polls. I will see you next time at the round table.